Ratio and proportion are very important concepts in math. They come up all the time in science, engineering, finance, cooking. Math is important in cooking. Many areas where math is used, you have this idea of ratio and proportion. So, not surprising that we want to look at that. So, let's take a look. So, here's the example problems we're going to do. A ratio can be written as a fraction, and proportion just means two ratios are equal. So, we have these examples of proportions. Ratios set equal to each other, that is, fractions set equal to each other. And then we have a variable in there, and we need to solve for that variable. So these are the types of problems we're talking about. So with this type of problem, there's a fairly simple trick you do at the beginning, and it turns it into a pretty ordinary linear equation solving situation. So what you always do first is you simply cross multiply. Okay, so you take the 2, you multiply it by the 8, and you set that equal to the 4 multiplied by 9x. And that is a step you can always take. It's a valid step. If these fractions equal each other, then those products that we obtain by cross multiplying will equal each other. We can count on it. So we take 2 times 8, that's 16. Just cross multiply like this, and then set that equal to 4 times 9x, 36x. Okay. Now, this is just a regular problem like we've been solving for a while now, right? Want to get rid of the 36x, so we divide both sides by, we want to get rid of the 36 and isolate the x, so we divide both sides by 36. Okay. Might as well be consistent. I think I'm going to be using blue on the rest of these, so I'll just use blue on these as well. On this first one, I'll change that real quick. Okay. Divide both sides by 36. So now, on the left, 16 divided by 36 we'll have to deal with. But let's go ahead and first and I think to give myself a little more room, I'm just going to do the old arrow trick here. So we got 16 over 36 equals x. Now we're going to reduce it. And 16 over 36 reduced to lowest terms is 4/9. Divide the 16 by 4 and 36 by 4. It's 4/9. If you want to put it in and you have to put it in lowest terms, or turn it into a decimal by doing the division. Okay. So next we have this over here. 12 over 4 equals x over 10. Again, same first step on all of these. Cross multiply. 12 times 10, 120. And that's equal to 4 times x, 4x. Then it's just a linear equation problem. We divide both sides by 4. And 120 divided by 4 is 30. 4's cancel over here. We have x, and that's it. Okay, just a couple more. Now you might be thinking, boy, those are easy. Well, we can, of course, devise some problems that are a little bit more difficult. And you would be disappointed if we didn't, wouldn't you? Of course you would. We don't want things to be too easy. So, same thing, we cross multiply. So it's 3 times v plus 5, okay? V plus 5 is in parentheses. That's, of course, very important. You take the numerator of this fraction, you multiply it by the denominator of this other fraction. The denominator of this fraction is not v and it's not 5. You can't multiply the 3 by just part of it. The denominator is v plus 5. So it goes in parentheses, the 3 is multiplied by it. So the same thing here, cross multiply, you're going to have 11 times v minus 7 in parentheses. Okay. Of course, you distribute this, 3v plus 15. I've got a cool shade of blue here. You may not be able to tell on your computer, but I got my color picker slightly off when I did that. And so now it's dark blue instead of black. That's okay. 11v minus 7. Oh, didn't do that right. I didn't multiply it by the whole thing. 11v minus 77. Okay, so now this one has a little bit more to it, but it's nothing we haven't seen before, right? You just solve this like we did all the others. We'll take the 3v over to the left by subtracting 3v from both sides, and get rid of it. We'll get rid of it on the left, I mean. So write 3v. We'll leave room to subtract, writing this all in line. 11v, leave room to subtract. That way we can put it all together. Put the v's together when we write them down. Don't have to do it that way, but so we're subtracting 3v from both sides. So minus 3v over here, minus 3v here. Okay. So 3v minus 3v, 0. It leaves only 15 on the left. On the right, 11v minus 3v, that's 8v. Minus 77. Okay, we got to get the v by itself. We're going to add 77 to both sides, right? To get rid of it, on the right, 15v plus 77. Okay. We're going to add 77 to the other side. And so 15 and 77. What is that? 10 and 77 would be 87. 5 more is 92. Oh, I want to go to black. Here we have 8v. That's all that's left. Divide both sides by 8. Make this a little more blue. Okay, so 92 divided by 8. That's our answer. But we have to reduce it to lowest terms, right? And I didn't plan real well. Running out of room. I'll squeeze it in here. So that's 92 over 8 equals V. We need to reduce that to lowest terms. And that is dividing the top and the bottom of 92 over 8 by 4. And that's 23 halves. Just squeeze it in there like that. Okay. One more. Okay, same as the others. First thing we're going to do is cross multiply. So we got 10 times k plus 4 equals 11 times k minus 2. Okay, got to distribute. 10k plus 40 equals 11k minus 22. Gather our terms, get our k's to one way or the other. Easy to take it to the right, so we'll subtract 10k from both sides. Okay. 11k minus 10k minus 22. Okay, so all we did was subtract 10k from both sides. So on the left we have just 40. On the right we have 11k. Oh, sorry, we don't. 11k minus 10k is k minus 22. So we're almost there. Add 22 to both sides. 40 plus 22 equals k minus 22 plus 22. Okay, so on the left, 40 plus 22 is 62. On the right, we're left with just k. Worked out good. That's it. Okay, so that's all the examples we're going to do today. It's really the same thing we've been doing with that step at the beginning of cross multiplying. Have to make sure that you do that right and that you distribute if necessary. If there is a sum here involved in the cross multiplication, you have to distribute. And so that's all for now.